Solution of linear inequalities. In this lesson, we are going to study addition and subtraction rules for solving linear inequalities. If we add a positive or negative number on both sides of linear inequality, the inequality doesn't change. Rule number 2. If we subtract a positive or negative number on both sides of linear inequalities, the inequality doesn't change. Here we are given a couple of questions to solve applying these rules. Question number 1 is that find solution for the inequality 7 plus x less or equal to minus 2. So let's write down the question. Solve the inequality 7 plus x is less or equal to minus 2. Here we will need to isolate x, and for that purpose we want to get rid of this 7 on the left hand side of the inequality. And how we get rid of 7 is by adding minus 7 on both sides. So let's add minus 7 on this side as well as on the right side. So this is minus 7. So this will give us 0 plus x is less or equal to minus 2, and minus 7 will become minus 9. 0 plus x, 0 is additive inverse, additive identity. Therefore, 0 plus x is x, which is less than minus 9. In order to draw this solution on number line, we can draw a number line here, and let's locate where is minus 9. Let's say it's 0 here, minus 1 here, and similarly if we continue going leftward, we'll find minus 9 here somewhere. So that is our first step to graph the linear inequality on number line, that identify the reference value, which in this case is minus 9. So that is step number 1. Step number 2, find out if x is on the left side of this reference value or x is on the right side. X in this case is less than minus 9, therefore x is on the left side of minus 9. So we draw a solid line on the left side of minus 9 just to indicate that this is the region for the solution. So once this is done, third thing we need to do is we need to take a look if minus 9 itself is part of the solution. If so, then draw a solid circle. If it is not part of the solution, then draw an empty circle. How do you decide? If there is a sign of equality with less than or equal to, so that equal to symbol signifies that minus 9 reference value itself is part of the solution, and we need to draw a solid circle here on the reference value, which we just did, and then write the inequality x is less than or minus 9, and we are done. Now let's go to the question number 2, and the B part, our question number 2 is solve the inequality. Solve the inequality, and what is the inequality? That is 5x minus 7 less than 4x plus 4. Just like solving linear equations, the same strategy we use for solving inequalities as well. We will first collect all the known quantities on one side and all the unknowns on the other side. Here x is unknown and this term involves x. This is another term which involves x. So we need to transfer both of these terms on one side and the known terms like minus 7 and plus 4 on the other side. How do we transfer? We transfer something by adding the additive inverse. So let's transfer 4x, and for that purpose we are going to add its additive inverse, which is minus 4x on both sides. Minus 4x. So left side and right side will become 5x minus 4x will become x, and then minus 7 less than is 0 plus 4. So here, like we said in the rules, that by adding any positive or negative number doesn't change the inequality at all. Therefore, inequality still will be same. Next is x minus 7 is less than 4, because 0 is additive inverse of and that when added to 4 doesn't change it. Now what we want to get rid of is minus 7, and you know by adding plus 7, the additive inverse of minus 7 on both sides, that will give us x alone on the left side. So this is, we got x plus 0 less than 4 plus 7 is 11, and we have the solution x less than 11. And because in the question it was given equal to sign, less than or equal to, therefore we are going to place this equal to sign along with the less than sign, so that 11 itself becomes part of the solution. And now if we draw the real line, and here is 0, and let's find out where is the reference value 11. Of course, if 1 is here, then 2 is here, and if we go that way, we will find 11 somewhere over here. So this was identifying the reference value. Once we have identified, next thing we need to do is we want to decide if x is on the left side or on the right side. Because x is less than 11, therefore it is on the left side, and starting from 11, all the left side of 11 must be shaded dark to indicate that this entire line to the left of 11 is part of the solution. And here we have x less than or equal to 11. Now the last step. We need to decide if 11 itself is part of the solution. If 11 is part of the solution, we need to draw a solid circle on the reference value, which we are going to, because whenever there is equal sign, then that reference value is part of the solution. Here x is less than or equal to 11, so 11 itself is part of the solution. Therefore, we needed to draw the solid circle. And if we want to express this in the form of interval, here if we continue going toward left, this line doesn't end, and there is an undefined point here that we call it minus infinity. Minus infinity means that it continues to go toward left and there is no end point. So from the left side, this is left open, and the openness we indicate by this bracket, parenthesis, and write this minus infinity sign. What this means is that 11 going toward left continues to go as far as you can, but there is no end, and that point at very, very far distance is called minus infinity, and we indicate this by opening bracket, this parenthesis, and then we close it on the right side because this interval is contained on the right side by the number 11, and 11 itself being part of this will be represented by the square bracket. If it was not included, I mean if 11 was not part of this, then we will use an open bracket facing outward. But this is the expression in the form of interval. So this is solution of inequality in the form of interval here. And similarly, if we wanted to find the interval here, then what would be interval here? It will continue to go left minus infinity, and the interval would become minus infinity to minus 9, and contained on the closed on the minus 9 side, open on the minus infinity side, solution. So this is solution in the form of interval. Now let's do one last question here. And the one last question here is that we are supposedly renting equipment from two companies. What is the cost of renting from company A? Cost of renting equipment from company A is equal to their basic charge or one-time charge, that's $90, plus they charge $5 a day. 5D, where D is number of days, where D is number of days equipment is rented. All right, but if we rent the same equipment from company B, then what would be the cost of renting? Cost of renting from company B. Cost of renting from company B is equal to, what is their fixed cost? They charge $100 upfront, plus they charge $4 a day. So 100 plus 4D. Now our question is that what is the number of days so that cost of renting from company A is less? So in order to be the cost from company A less expensive, what would be the cost of renting from A is 90 plus 5D. This means that 90 plus 5D is less than 100 plus 4D. What this means is that we want to find out the number of days for which the cost of renting from company A is less. Therefore, we place the cost from A less than cost from company B. Let's solve this inequality and we will find the number of days. So for that purpose, same old story. We want to get rid of this 4D. so that we can bring 4D and 5D on one side. We want 4D to disappear from the right side and appear on the left side. So where is that we want 4D to disappear? Right side. Therefore, we are going to add minus 4D. Minus 4D will cause it to disappear, and minus 4D over here. So this will become 90 plus D. 90 plus D on the left side. As subtraction doesn't change the inequality, so this would be 100 plus 0. So this is how it would be. 90 plus D. 90 plus D is less than 100. Now what is you want to disappear? You want this 90 to disappear from left, so that D alone sits on the left side. So easy stuff. Minus 90 and minus 90 over here. So when this is done, then you got 0 plus D less than 100 minus 90, that is 10, means D is less than 10. This time there is no inequality here. Therefore, if we draw the line here and identify the point, this is 0, 1, 2, up to 10 here. And once we have identified the reference value, now we are going to see if D is to the left of 10 or to the right. D is again to the left because D is less than 10. So we again shade this region to indicate that the solution lies on this side. And D is less than 10. Reference value is 10 already marked, but because 10 itself is not part of the solution, therefore we draw an empty circle here on 10, and that's it. So if we rent for less than 10 days, means 9 days, 8 days, 7 days, 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, the cost of renting from company A is less. But if you plan to rent it for more than or equal to 10 days, you should rent from company B.